Jamiroquai, if I'm saying that right, is on the line. Jamiroquai, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Yes, sir. I'll get right to my question, Mr. Coleman. I recently graduated with my degree in business administration in May. Thank you for Dave Ramsey. I graduated in 3 years debt-free.
Yay! That's awesome. Way to go.
Thank you. And I just turned 21 years old, but I graduated at 20. So
you are amazing.
I started in May with a temp agency, kind of temp to hire, and one of like the top 3 employers in Forbes magazine. And I took a pay cut when I got hired full time, but I recently got a promotion within the few months that I was working. However, I took a pay cut, and now I have a yearly review coming up in January, and I'm trying to figure out how do I ask for a raise. And I've been doing everything right. I've been working hard. I basically, in a short sense, I run circles around everybody. I'm a team player. I do everything right. So how do I kind of get that situated?
Yeah. So what I want you to do is I want you to go into this annual review, and I want you to go through their normal annual review process. So essentially, you're going to play tennis with your leader on that normal conversation. Then there will be a moment in the conversation where you can talk, right? And you've gone through the thing. I want you to say, hey, listen, as I look back on the last year, and so you've already heard their feedback. You want to be at the place in the conversation where they've given you all the constructive feedback or anything they're going to give you, at which point you then say to them and say, hey, listen, I want to grow. I want to grow as a professional woman. I want to grow in this particular company. I really do. And so I want to talk to you about, could we craft, now that I'm in my first year and we've had my interview, can you and I work together to create a growth plan for the next year? So between this moment and 12 months from now, when I'll have my next annual review, I would love to create a growth plan. And I'd love for it to include the things you just told me, the constructive criticism. See, those are areas, I've already written those down. And by the way, you need to write those down in that meeting. And those are the areas where I can grow and get better, which means more valuable. So I'm going to work on those areas. Thank you for sharing that with me. Are there some other areas that you can, so you say to them, some other areas where I don't need to improve, but I need to add some skills. Do you understand the difference?
Yes, sir.
All right. So you say to them, what are some things that you think that I could add that would make me more valuable? Because I want to increase my responsibility in these next 12 months. And I want to be measured by some new goals and some new responsibilities. So I'd love for you and I to work together. You're talking to your leader this way, and you're saying, I want us to work together to come up with a plan. And I call it a growth plan. And so it's about getting better in the areas where they told you need to get better, adding new skills, all for the purpose of increasing your responsibility and influence. And then guess what happens when you increase your responsibility and your influence? What happens? You increase your income. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
So I don't ever want somebody to go in and ask for a raise. It just puts the leader in a very difficult position if they're not thinking about it. Now, in an annual review, that is a much more relevant conversation, but I still want you to come at it the way I do, because I want that leader to go, wow, Jamiroquai is looking at me going, hey, I want to get better for you. I want to be more valuable so that I can have greater influence and yield greater results, because I want to grow professionally and I also want to grow economically. I want to make more money, but I know that I want to add more value. And that doesn't feel greedy to you, does it, when you hear that?
No, sir.
Yeah, so that's how you do it. Which, by the way, if they respond in a, what I would call negative way, which would be, oh, okay, yeah, we'll do that, and they never do it. Or they go, well, no, I don't think we need to do that. Because any healthy leader with, I'm going to say, half a brain, Joe, like a half-brained leader would go, oh, that's a pretty good idea. I think that makes a lot of sense, right? Because people will grow when they are incentivized to grow. Hello? You'd be amazed at how many leaders are just clueless about that. So, Jamiroquai, what you're going to find out is if you got a healthy leader with half of a brain, they're going to go, that's a good idea. Let's do that. But an unhealthy leader who doesn't have any brain at all is going to kick the can down the road and not do that. And as a result, this is not a place I need to be. So that's why I love that process.